Tonight, surveillance video of a school under attack you'll see only on King 5. And it prompted another Washington school district to take action to prepare for the worst. King 5's Drew Mickelson found out why districts are taking safety into their own hands. Drew.
Well, Lori, districts can do what they want because they can. There are not many rules, as we've found out. The state only has a handful of minimum requirements, and if a district wants to give teachers guns, they can. But more schools are taking a different approach, and in one case, it worked.
The school district, College Place, did not want this video made public. We're airing it because it shows a problem and a potential solution. Surveillance cameras capture two people, teenagers, with weapons, storming a middle school office, threatening staff, and attacking the principal. No one suffered life-threatening injuries because the staff got their own weapons and scared the teens away.
You can't plan for everything.
The College Place incident,
we've created what they call a safety vestibule,
impacted the Dayton School District 30 miles away, where they're changing their campus entrances and their philosophy.
My prayers are that you would never, ever have to do this, ever.
It's called gap training.
The gun comes up, and I'm going to come straight up, and I'm going to hook this gun and pull it right into me.
The gap, the time between when a shooter shows up at a school and police arrive.
Except crowd setting, right? Guns out.
Today's lesson, how to stop that shooter when you don't have a weapon.
So you guys are a group of kids in a cafeteria.
In May, the gap training here at Dayton High School in Eastern Washington meant equipping every staff member with a T-ball bat. The teachers are taught the small aluminum or wood bats weighing about 20 ounces can seriously injure an attacker, especially if caught by surprise. They learned how to barricade their classrooms and how to defend their students and themselves by going on the offensive. Former State Trooper John Ladines heads up Force Dynamics. He takes the run, hide, fight philosophy and makes fighting more of a priority.
You don't need all of you right here to stop a shooter. You just need 2 or 3.
I felt like we had to do something more than just, hand out a piece of paper and say, here's what we would do if this happened.
Dayton superintendent says his staff wanted more done, especially after what happened in College Place. Back to that surveillance video. June 8th, 2017, College Place, Washington, near Walla Walla. Two brothers, a 16 and 18-year-old, came to the Sager Middle School campus with weapons, a spear, knives, and a large stick. They demanded to see their younger sister. They were planning on running away. The teens eventually broke through the office door, where they were met by the principal, armed with a T-ball bat. He and his staff had gone through the gap training. Co-workers grabbed their bats too, and although the principal was attacked, he was not seriously injured, thanks in part to other staffers with T-ball bats chasing the brothers out of the office. Police ended up using beanbag rounds to stop and arrest the teens.
This happened more than a year ago, but it's still a very traumatic event for the community of College Place. The superintendent didn't want us to speak with any of the staff members who were involved, but the instructor behind the T-ball training says what happened here and at other campuses prove that fighting back can help.
Ow.
Back at Dayton, the gap training is costing the district about $5,000.
Too bad, sister.
Instead of focusing on curriculum during these in-service days, the staff here has learned the defensive and disarming techniques. Under state law, districts can do whatever their individual boards feel is needed for safety.
Yeah, there's no way.
And that's just fine with teachers in Dayton.
Can't get your arm out.
Does it work?
Yeah, it works.
They say now they feel safer than ever.
Because if something does happen, we have something to fall back on instead of nothing.
Now, state law does require districts to come up with safety plans, but there's no assessment done of those plans. And the only other minimum requirement, districts must hold monthly drills, fire drills, lockdowns, or evacuation drills, and that is it, at least right now.
So what does the state superintendent think about these kinds of trainings?
He says to each his own. Each district has the ability, as we've said, to do as much or as little as they want, really. And he says if a district wants to arm their teachers, that's okay. There is a law that requires significant training. A teacher would have to have as much training as a law enforcement officer to have a gun in a classroom. So that is one law that is on the books. But the district the state superintendent says if the districts want to do that, that's okay. It's up to the school boards.
What about in Olympia? Is there talk, Drew, of the state taking a bigger role in all of this?
There is. The superintendent's office has actually talked about perhaps doing something to assess these safety plans.
Right, so at least some standard for those
to
plans.
have more standards, to have a check and balance in case some district wanted to try something that no one's thought of yet that may be a little more extreme. So there was talk of that. But I think because of the diversity in this state, what works in Seattle may not work in Dayton or Walla Walla or Tacoma. And so folks in Olympia appreciate that.